Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview series. Today, we are talking about how to spot a liar, all about lying, not just to know when somebody's lying to you, because there's some really good long game, but to know how to catch yourself lying to yourself. Do you lie to another? I have with me today Laurie Gerber, executive coaching, life coaching. She's got over 20 years experience, and she especially focuses on women over 50. Laurie's appeared on the Today Show, Dr. Phil, MTV, A&E, and she's been the resident love expert at Match, Zoosk, JDate, and many more. She coaches individuals, couples, and groups, and her TEDx talk, The Secret Free Diet, shares the power of truth telling. So who better to talk about lies today than Laurie? Laurie, welcome.
Kind of my thing. Kind of my thing. Not that popular, but definitely interesting.
Well, I think most people are looking for that magic bullet, like to be able to, in the first stages of finding someone, when you're having dates, how do I know if they're telling me the truth or not? So let's go through some of these. You have them very clearly defined as an outright lie. Give me an example of some outright lies that we can tell.
To be clear, there are many types of lies.
I know. We're going to talk about overt, covert. I know.
Just so you know, yep. Susan, I have gone back to the drawing board on types of lies, and now I have over 40 types of lies. Okay, so please don't narrow it down to just outright lying or even the 7.
No, this is number 1, right? Is the outright lie. These are the most obvious to the most covert.
Yeah, the outright lie is I'm 6'1", and I'm actually right, or I'm a size 6 when I'm actually a size 12. Right, like those are the kinds of outright lies people tell on dating sites or in early getting to know each other over text or over the phone. You want an example of all the types of lies? Is that
no? I want to talk about the outright lies and the hallmarks of some of these outright lies.
Okay, great. Okay.
So one type of outright lie is I lost my phone. I got in a car accident. It's right. The over-exaggeration.
I was sick. Yeah. Well, I would define outright lie as literally an untruth. Like I'm 6'1" when I'm 5'7" versus an exaggeration, which is, could be, I was the best in my, in my high school at football, right? Which is like, maybe I was in the top 5, but I'm going to say I was the best. So I differentiate exaggeration from outright lying. And the reason I differentiate is because people justify exaggerating or under exaggerating. Oh, I only have a drink a night. But a drink is a whole bottle of wine, right?
Yeah, right.
People under exaggerate and over exaggerate and 100% do not call that lying. I call that lying. Different from most people would admit an outright lie is an outright lie, right? If I say I was at my mom's and I was actually at my ex-wife's, that's an outright lie.
So
but people know that's wrong, but the other types, not so much.
Are you saying that we can fool ourselves into believing that exaggerating is okay? Perhaps
100%,
in this Instagram world of being our own PR agency? Oh, okay.
I mean, between AI and filters, like what is true, Susan? We could argue anything. What is the truth? And I will just tell you that I've never met a person, including myself, that doesn't have a list of things they think are okay lies, right? That aren't really lying or are acceptable, even virtuous ways of lying.
Okay, give me just a couple of examples.
Well, I'll start with the most obvious with dating is most people think it is intelligent to lie on the dating sites because it will let you see more people and be seen by more people. So people lie about age, height, weight, employment status, level of hair, all kinds of things about physical appearance, employment status, where they live, age. Okay, I think I've said all of the sexual health. Those are things that people lie across the board. So if you want to know how to spot a liar, assume you're with one, because the majority of people lie to some extent or another. And those are the types of outright lies that people do in early dating and justify it with, I have to in order to get someone to look at me. It's not my fault that I'm lying. It's the same as we go, I have to lie to my parents about where I am tonight. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't let me go. right? Like,
Well, and I know ladies with age. I mean, I don't know anybody that has told their actual age online.
right.
And these are friends of mine
How to spot a liar. It's the person in front of you. That's
okay,
how.
okay. So let's say we catch someone in a lie.
Right.
How upset should we be? Because some people think it's a deal breaker right there. Like if you lie once, you're going to lie the whole way through. What's your position on that?
I think that's a little bit like getting angry at a child for lying, right? Does that make them stop lying? No, that just makes them better at lying.
Okay.
So I do not ever think so. Those types of lies that I just named,
Yeah.
height, weight, age, location, employment status, STD status, all of those I find to be surmountable if the person tells or owns up with a sense of humor at the beginning. Anybody who prolongs that lie over a bunch of dates, very scary. Please, time out, red flag. But if somebody owns up to it, and I know a lot of people who do in the first
Yeah.
once face to face, if they establish a rapport, if they feel attracted, they say, hey, I just got to tell you, I didn't tell the truth about my age. I didn't tell the truth about my height. I didn't tell the truth about this. I thought you had a right to know. I think that is basic common respect to tell someone what you lied about in the first visual interaction and give them the chance to say, I'm sorry, that's a deal breaker for me. Or, oh, okay, well, I'm glad I met you. I like you. This is worth something. So bottom line, how long they lie for, how defensive they are about lying, those are things to watch for. The fact that someone lies is not a deal breaker unless they defend it or continue it. And what we're really trying to do in dating culture right now is make it safe for people to tell the truth because everyone's lying, knowing everyone else is lying. So of course I feel like I have to lie. Like, what would it be like if I post on Instagram and don't use a filter, or if I don't use Ozempic, or if I don't, get the Botox? Like, how am I going to keep up with my competition? So what you're looking for is two people who may have succumbed to that temporarily, but actually want to be their true selves in real life.
That's great. I counsel all of my people in the very beginning to have an honesty platform, like saying something very off the cuff, like, listen, I believe in being honest. We might not like each other. I don't need to ghost you. You don't have to ghost me. Can we just, it's safe to tell me, are you cool with that? Because I'd like to do that. Because I've been in a no talk relationship where talking about something is a fight, just discussing it.
Right.
And you can't get to resolution. There's no way to come forward with that. And it's
I want to know, since you've been using that technique of naming it, right? Naming, let's try to do this honestly and above board. Do you think you're getting more of an honest response from people?
I haven't gone back to ask them because I have a different prototype. My style is like one off. I do one at a time. Sometimes I'll do ongoing sessions.
But do you think people are telling you when they're not interested, and you are telling them when you're not interested more readily than if you hadn't said
because the only reason we lie, well, there are many reasons we lie, but one reason we lie is because we don't want to appear bad or wrong. Now, let's say it's the polite lie. I don't want to tell you, God, you are so ugly. You don't look anything like your photo. I'm stuck here having a coffee date with you, and I really don't want to have it again. So now I've got some of the modern choices: ghost you, block you, anything but, it's not working for me. So if everybody could get an okay to speak the truth, it would start the foundation of maybe if this moves forward, we have this as a base point, right?
You have to. The first impression is everything, and you must start as you mean to go on. And I don't know if you do this with your clients, but I give my clients a canned response. Very simple. It's been lovely meeting you. You seem like a wonderful person. I'm not feeling like this is a romantic match, but I wish you the best of luck.
Very good. Very good.
That is easy to memorize.
I know.
The more you don't ghost, the more you won't be ghosted.
I agree. It's just that resolution that lets us know in or out. It's that waiting 2 or 3 days. Are they texting me? Are they not? That's the nightmare. Okay. So, all right. Lots of things about lying. So we talk about exaggeration. Oh, a crisis. Oh, I got in a car accident. I'm in the hospital. The dog's sick. My aunt is sick. My best friend died. All those things. So exaggeration too, where they could have just told you the truth. Right. Now, if you hear an exaggerated lie, would you go back and say, you know what? That sounds kind of like an exaggerated lie. Maybe that's true, and I'm really sorry, but do you know you have the option to tell me the truth? Would you ever do something like that or tell your
You know
clients
what?
to?
I think you're already too late if someone's BSing you on the regular, which is why you want to start at the very
They're a
beginning.
no-go. Yeah.
Right.
So the fact
You
that they,
definitely want to start at the very beginning and say,
yeah,
you know, listen, if you're ever unavailable, if you're ever too busy, if you ever just lose interest, you know,
yeah.
I really want to know. And the other, I just had another thought, which is a really great technique to get people to tell you the truth is to repeat back what they said.
Ooh,
So if you tell
okay.
me my aunt is sick and I'm sick and my brother's sick and my dog is sick, and I say back, oh my gosh, Susan, your aunt is sick and your brother and you're sick and your dog, all of a sudden you have just had to hear what you said. And I have found that people, and this works in coaching too, that if you just say back what someone says, they bring the story closer to the truth with each time they have to hear what they just said.
Oh, that's good.
Well, my aunt's not really sick. She's just going into surgery later this week, and I had to help her prep. Oh, I'm actually feeling much better. My dog is sick, but I know how to handle that. I just need to get the medicine. I am really worried about my aunt, though. It just people exaggerate and they don't hear themselves doing it. So a really good tactic, again, if you're getting to know someone and you really want them to feel heard and you want to kind of BS detect, is say back what you're hearing.
Good. That's a good tip.
People are not
Yeah.
used to it. People are not used to it. It
Yeah.
weirds them out that they think about what they're going to say because they know you're really listening.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So we've talked about what about lying by under exaggeration?
Yeah, people love to under exaggerate about their bad habits
Oh,
or
especially
their sexual health, right? Or
or
how often
sexual partners.
erectile dysfunction, things like that, right? So things that
Never
embarrass
happened
people.
before.
So
I,
just times whatever they say by 40% increase, right? And that's probably more like the truth. Because human beings do this all the time, right? Like I'm the resident love expert at Match. Yeah, well, I led workshops for them for a year and a half. I led a few for J-Day, right? Like I'm exaggerating that, like you don't, what you think and what I think that means could be so different. So you ask questions, but by nature, again, you just assume people are under exaggerating the bad stuff and over exaggerating the good stuff, and then you'll be somewhere in the truth. And even in a long-term healthy relationship, we still BS each other.
I know. I know.
We do. Okay, so just see if you know you're doing it.
Would you choose to call them out or go into that conversation?
So here again, I think to your point, the most important thing is to establish we both agree we want to tell each other the truth at the beginning,
True,
but
true.
we also both agree that we're not always going to because it's human nature. And if you watch my TEDx talk, you'll understand
Yeah, no,
studies.
I did. Yeah.
There's no humans that don't lie. So we're assuming that we do. And what we're aiming for is catching it and having a sense of humor about it and not letting it do any harm. So if I tell my husband in the middle of the day, he sees me in the kitchen and he goes, "How was your day?" And I go, "Fine, good." But really it was a crappy day, but I don't have time to talk about it.
Right, right.
I can clean that up at night
Yeah.
and go, "Well, actually, not really." Um, and even just, for example, just describing what does it mean to be the resident love expert. But the idea is that the intention is to be yourself. The intention is to be
Correct.
loved for who you are.
Correct.
So would I call someone on it? By the time you're in calling someone on it, we're already in trouble. If it's even called calling someone on it.
Well,
Hey, what do
asking
you
them to
mean by
clarify.
that? Yeah.
Asking them to clarify.
Yeah.
What we might be in a relationship already with somebody that we know there's stuff, but predominantly it's good. And you want to preserve the relationship, but you also
Right.
want to improve it. So it gets a little dicey when you have to, we're talking about new relationships. We've set the foundation, but what about those people that are involved in, it's like they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to upset their partner, but they're starting to get resentful because they know that there's something incomplete. There's something hidden.
Right.
We need to address it. Yes.
Yeah. And so there's nefarious lying. Like, I'm really not going to tell about my STD because I want to have unprotected sex, for example,
Like
right? Or I'm really not going to
Okay.
tell that I'm still married because I want to.
Right.
I'm really not going to tell that I lost my job because I want them to think I'm hot. Or I'm really
Right.
not going to tell
Right.
that I have no money or I
Yeah.
have, a a contagious or life-threatening illness.
Yeah.
So really manipulative, nefarious lying. But what's more, and when you discover that, you really do need to actually be done, right? Like you actually need to go that
Right.
for me.
Right.
But most people are lying innocently, justifiably, think it's virtuous, think they're helping their cause,
Right.
think they're protecting you. I mean, most people are lying unknowingly or knowingly, but quote unquote innocently. And so, yes, then you need to address it. I would much prefer you to tell me blah, blah, blah. I know you told me you bumped into your ex yesterday. Can you tell me more about it? I need more details in order for me to feel comfortable.
Good.
Um,
Good. Good. Good.
but
Good.
whenever you're
Good.
in calling someone out, whatever it is, whether
Mhm.
it's for racism or gossip or, stealing, you're always it's always better to call someone in, right? It's always better to consider that someone is making an honest mistake, right? Or a unintentional mistake, and that they want to learn, they want to grow, they want to do better. So kindness and sense of humor will help
True.
you teach
Okay.
someone
So
that.
when I'm saying call them out, I should say address it, not reprimand.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about reprimanding them. I'm talking
yeah,
about
I think so.
addressing an uncomfortable situation. So, okay,
Right.
I know you deal with a lot of women. So I have everything, and I have some wonderful male clients that love their wife,
Mhm.
but she's not taking care of herself. She's
Right.
not trying anymore. She's gained weight. She
Yeah.
doesn't bother to put, and they say, I love her. I don't want to cheat, but these women are coming on to me all day long. They're so hot. They're so good looking. I,
Yeah.
how do I tell her? Because they don't want to hurt her feelings, but they have crucial information that they
Right.
need to say. So they do the white lie. Honey, you look great. I love you. And they do.
It's the
These,
opposite.
these
What
are
they
these are difficult conversations. How do you say, honey, you've gotten fat?
That's not
Honey, you
that's not that's an outright lie, right? If you're thinking you're not hot anymore and you say you're hot.
yeah, but I mean that's a dicey conversation to have. It's got to be done with a lot of tact and diplomacy and love. Is there an easy way to get there? Because what we're talking about is being very honest with the partner. Now I'm talking about you're in a relationship, it's longstanding, you love the partner, you want to stay with them, but there are things that are going to be uncomfortable conversations. So you're afraid to tell the truth.
And let me just say, this works for new dating as well, what I'm about to say.
Okay. Okay.
Whether you're in a new relationship and you're like, the breath doesn't
Okay.
smell good, or I don't like the smell in general, or I don't like the kissing, or I
Right.
don't like the way I'm being touched, or it's
Right.
going too fast in bed or too slow in bed,
Right.
or you're not hot to me anymore, 7 to 10 months down, whatever it is, right?
Right.
All of those require, I call it the 8-step rubric of a difficult conversation. We probably don't have time to go through every single step,
I
but
think we might, if we can tell
okay.
that, just because you can't, it sounds too good to just leave it on
Okay.
the
Well,
table.
to summarize,
Okay.
you have to set the scene properly. So you have to ask permission, just like with sex, you need consent. I have a tricky topic for you. It might be a little emotionally loaded. Is now a good time to bring it up? The
Beautiful.
answer is yes. Great.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you the reason I want to talk to you about this is because I'm committed to our relationship. I love you. I value you. Or if it's an early dating, I'm really enjoying getting to know you. I think you're really someone special. I think we might have a future together, or I want us to have a great future together. And so I'm bringing this up to keep the slate clean because we've committed to honesty, and that's what I'm committed to, even when it's hard. And I am afraid if I say this, I'm making myself vulnerable. You could judge me, you could get mad at me, you could hold this against me. I'm taking a risk here, but I think it's worth it considering, what we've built or what we've agreed upon. Okay, so that's all the setting the stage. That's 3 steps right there.
That was beautiful. That's the cookie. Then you're going to put the middle inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the first piece of bread. Now the meat. Okay. Well, actually, the next thing you do is more mayonnaise, right? Is grease. It's like, listen, let me just own. I don't always take great care of myself, right? I'm
Oh,
not
good.
sort of
Good.
as you with this, because peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Or let me just own I could be misinterpreting this thing. Or let me just own I have not spoken up about my needs. That's on me.
Right.
Okay, so now you've really massaged the tissue. We're at step 5 is like, okay, here's the thing. When I fell in love with you, I was extremely attracted to you. You looked a certain way. Of course, we have aged. We've both aged. We've both been through what we've been through. And I still really like a firm contour, and I still really like the soft feeling of the skin, and I still really love the twinkle in your eyes, but you have not been twinkling as much. And I don't know if that's menopause. I don't know if that's you're not getting enough rest. I don't know if I haven't, sufficiently funded your beauty treatments. I don't know if I'm really not sure if for you if it's a self-esteem thing going on, or if there's just habits that have fallen out, but I really loved it when you kept your body fit. It turned me on when you did that, and I don't know what happened. So that's just one example, obviously, but I have
That
been
was very, very helpful.
and I just want
That's
to say
very helpful, Laurie.
it is an art and a science to say the truth
I
gracefully.
know.
Most people are not good at it. I spend 50% of my sessions crafting language with people
I do
so
too.
they don't sound like assholes.
Yep.
Now, we are assholes, okay? But that's not the full picture of who we are. You can upgrade your instant gross thought like you said, when you gave the example of, like, you're just so ugly, you look nothing like your pictures. You never have to say something like that. You could say,
I've had people say that, not my clients, but I've actually known women that will say that to men. How dare you think you
right.
can go out with me? Oh, horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah. So you never have to be mean. You can say, listen, just based on your picture, you were not what I was expecting, and you're not my type, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're lovely. I think you're fabulous. I would introduce you to a friend, but you're just not my type. And that's no offense to you. So that is so much less offensive than a statement of truth, or a judgment. So same thing when you're talking about how you like to be kissed, how you like the person to smell, what kind of attention you want, what kind of sex you like. Listen, this is how it is for me. This is what I'm experiencing. This is not the truth. What do you think? Or how do you feel about all that? How does that land for you? Then step 6 is listen. Listen, say back what you're hearing, have a real dialogue. Usually just the conversation is enough to make you attracted again, or to make you feel free again, or to make you feel young again, or to just having honest conversations is an incredible boon to any kind of relationship. And then you can negotiate solutions. Okay, I'll get back to the gym. I didn't know it was important to you. Thanks for saying something. You clearly love me and want to stay with me. Yeah, I do. Okay, so let's agree to check in on this each week and see where we're at. Let's make a sex date once a week. Let's make a sex date twice a week. Let's really get back into the groove of it, because it's not just obviously, it's a lot of factors, right? So as soon as you start to talk about it, it's like, the truth, the multifaceted nature of the truth starts to open up, and you can negotiate solutions with this person that you like or love. I did it. I condensed the 8 steps into a very quick.
It was because the tangible examples are very helpful to people listening, because oftentimes, we hear coaches and they say they're concepts, but they don't give you a story behind it and the language. And I agree. I do the same thing. That is really a beautiful blueprint for a difficult conversation. And I think many people evacuate the relationship because they're so terrified of having a conversation to, one, upset their partner, hurt their partner, or be that honest themselves. And who knows what they're going to get back. Right. So this is one more option that's really valuable to have in our tool chest so that we can have these conversations.
And how ironic, because those are the conversations that actually build intimacy and connection. Right.
That's another thing, is that I've come to realize that, especially with men, if they have to hide something from us, they never feel loved.
It's true.
And that's not a young girl's understanding. That's somebody who's, been in enough long-term relationships to know that, they've got to feel free to be themselves. Because if either one of us have to hide who we are, what we like, what our preferences are, because we're so terrified that they won't like it, or we know they won't like it, then we've got, we're just walking through the relationship.
Right. Faking. And I think the stereotype too is that women are, like, they're trying to grab, they're trying to extricate, they're trying to force communication. And what I don't think a lot of women realize is that it is such a gift to want to know the truth and to give your unconditional listening, your unconditional generosity. It doesn't mean you have to accept everything you learn, for sure. It doesn't mean that. But that unconditional generosity, if you can convince a man you want to know the truth and you're not going to be squeamish and you're not going to be grossed out or dramatic about it. You have now given this man a gift, like you said, that a lot of young women wouldn't give him, but also a gift that just not a lot of people grant at all. Most of us didn't get that from our parents. Oh, tell us the truth, tell us who you really are, we want to love you for it, warts and all. No, that's not what we got from our parents. That's not, maybe we get it from our friends if we're lucky.
I think when I was learning how to do all this stuff, I had a conversation with because I had a much younger partner. I had to have these conversations because this was a different dynamic, right? And I remembered saying, no matter what, I want you to tell me the truth, even if you are certain I do not want to hear it, because I'm
Beautiful.
giving you the option. You're not bad, you're not wrong, but I need to know. That way I can either fix something or I can understand why it's not working for you.
So
But
smart.
for God's sake, don't let me hear it from somebody else,
Oh my gosh.
especially if you look at me and you're like, she is old. I don't want to be here. Like suddenly you realize it, right?
Yeah.
Just don't go running off with Sheila or Missy or whatever, Amber. Just like tell me, and we'll either negotiate it or fix it, or I'll leave, or we'll I don't. You're not going to be bad or wrong, but the opposite is unacceptable. And I promise you, you can remind me of this conversation. If I get upset, you will say, Susan, you promised me on your word that you would be
Right.
understanding. So I'm going to hold myself to that. But,
Beautiful.
I didn't have a guide for that. That was a long time ago. I didn't have a guide for that, but I knew enough to know that, man, there are some things we have to talk about. So thank you for those 8 points. That was just beautiful.
I want to give you another really good tip.
Okay.
A context for expressing the truth when you think the truth might be upsetting to someone else, which is
Good.
why we lie, right? Why we lie.
Yeah.
And that is, this is my experience. It's just a simple twist, right? It's not the truth. It is my experience, right? I could experience you as young one day and old the next day. Is either one true? No, it's my experience, right? It's I don't like how you're kissing me. That's an experience. I've been 30 years now with my husband. There are times when I don't like what he's doing in bed, and I can either go, hey, switch it, or I can go, maybe I could switch my mind, right? Like maybe I could actually figure out how to enjoy this. They're both valid. I'm just
Right.
having an experience. It's not the truth. And I think sometimes people go, oh, telling the truth is akin to just telling someone my judgments or my opinions as
Exactly.
if they are the truth. They are not. They're just your experience, which makes it easier to express and easier to hear.
So this is where tact, diplomacy, thoughtfulness, and the correct language comes into play. And I know a lot of people don't know it. And it's not a sexy thing, but I've had so many courses on communication, and they're not like sexy. Like we know everybody goes, oh, you have to have a great communication to stay together as a couple. But when you have these courses, they're not so sexy, but they're so essential. Because
Mhm.
it's really the glue, the maintenance of keeping it. You can't get to conflict resolution. You can't get over an issue. You can't get past your resentments if you can't talk about it.
Right.
So this is really great. So the last thing I want to talk about, and this is a big one, is when we lie to ourselves.
Yeah. The mother of all lies. The original lie. The original lie when we lie to ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best antidote I have to lying to oneself is a rigorous writing exercise, a rigorous writing ritual, let's call it, for yourself, where you are attempting to tell the truth to yourself in your journal or however you do it, right? You could voice to text, but I think writing or typing
Yeah.
is still the best way to get your subconscious conscious. And I think for me, I literally journal every morning with an attempt to relay my thoughts and feelings every morning. I want to know, what am I thinking and what am I feeling? Knowing both of those are up to me, but I just want to take the temperature in the morning and see what's
Yeah.
there. Like
Right.
what's most of it's garbage, but I write it down so I can see what, if anything, is real or true. But I acknowledge most of it is garbage. And then at the end of the day, because I know that I lie and I know that everybody lies, I look for where I lied. And that is a context. I mean, I know I'm way out in the weirdo.
Well,
weirdo
I mean,
here.
therefore your TED talk. But no, so okay, you found a lie. Now what do you do?
Sometimes, well, I write it in
Okay.
my recap, which goes out to
So you're honest with yourself.
and so I'm honest with myself, and then it goes out to my husband and 6 of my closest friends and my coach. But sometimes I will go back and
Yeah.
talk to them. Like when I find a lie, I think that's magic. I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. Here's what's unique about me. I don't want to lie,
Yeah.
right? It's not
Yeah.
unique that I lie. It's unique that I don't want to lie, right? That I'm
Exactly.
so like
And that you're so honest about it.
yeah.
That's
So
what's so weird.
I like going back and telling when I found a lie. It's never, I'm not like, yay, this is so fun, but I am thinking there's magic to this because in this moment, first of all, I have to get over whatever shame I had that made me like, why do I have to pretend
Mm,
like I was the resident expert at like
right.
there's no shame in what I did do, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no shame in the
Yeah. Yeah.
expertise that you have. So I get to work on my own internal BS when I tell that truth. And I get to connect with you so that there's no way you're not going to trust me more if I told you that I lied. The people you shouldn't trust are the people who pretend they never lie.
Oh God. I
Those
know.
are the people you should be scared of. So I develop my relationships, I develop my relationship with myself, and then I get more proud of who I really am so that I can say more of who I really am straight out. But I mean, I lie about like we lie about it's interesting what we lie about. Like I would lie to pretend I understood something that I didn't. Like if someone was alluding to something or speaking in an accent I didn't understand, I would just like la 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 la. And then I realized, no, I mean, that's not kind, right? It's not kind. It's not honest. It's not good for me or the other person for me to pretend something that's not true. So generally, I confess it if I can. Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm never, you know, I'm not. It's so funny. My mother and I lied to my father a few weeks ago, and we both agreed to this policy of not lying, but we lied because
Well, it must have been necessary, right?
no, it was hilarious. I want to tell you the story. So we thought we could convince my dad to accept a gift of a bathrobe if it was from me, but it was really from my mother. Okay, my mother bought him this thing, but she's like, if I offer it, he'll just poo-poo it and say no. But if it's from you, he'll try it on. So it only is a day with this lie. And I'm like, it's innocent. It's fine. I'm never going to tell. It's no big deal. The next day, he's like telling my brother, Laurie's so nice. She got me this bathrobe. And I'm just like, as soon as he's like perpetuating the lie to other people, I'm like, okay, I get it. I should never lie. And we sit my dad down, my mother and I both confess we're sorry. We thought, I don't know, we thought it was a good idea at the time. And he just laughs. He's like, well, you guys are weird. That's so silly. And he doesn't like the bathrobe. He's not keeping the bathrobe.
But this is
didn't
great.
work anyway. We were making him lie
Yeah.
that he the
That he
bathrobe.
likes it. Oh, that's horrible when somebody
I
gives you
had
a
to
gift
call
and you
my
hate
brother
it.
and be like, I'm not the better child. I didn't get him the bathrobe. So anyway.
Oh, it's hard. What do you do at Christmas time when somebody gives you something that's just god awful, or for your birthday? I
You
mean,
want to know what I do?
what do you do?
I don't let people buy me gifts. Are you
Okay,
kidding?
well, that's easy. That's
Ridiculous.
okay. You
And I
just stop
ask
them.
for a list. I ask for a list and I give a list. That is the biggest old-fashioned BS I've ever
I
heard
know.
of.
I know.
Guessing what you like. That was fine when there were only 2 things you could buy in the world.
Yes,
But that doesn't work anymore. Come on.
this is absolutely wonderful. By setting a precedent in early dating, or making your partner feel safe because you're willing to confess, where you have been less than stellar with telling the truth. I think it gives them permission to know it's
Yeah.
okay. And it seems like the long-term effect will be so fabulous for the relationship to just know that we can talk things through without being scared. Because isn't it really this stuff that makes us shut up and
Yeah.
start to build up the walls, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead. I know there was something else.
I just sorry, I'm so excited. But I want to just make sure before we end, because I know we're coming to a close here. I want to make sure I address how to spot a liar and just kind of like a rapid fire in early days.
I would love that.
I just want to say that. So is now the right time?
Now is the right time.
Okay. So first, the overall coaching is you're talking to a liar. So it's really to find out how they lie and what they lie about, not if they lie. That's first of all. So, and I always tell my daters, If by date number 3 you're not talking about what doesn't work about you, your liabilities, then you're being lied to and you're lying, right? Like, so if you're not going, I have an ingrown toenail, I don't come easily, I have erectile dysfunction, I live with my mother, my kid is pretty needy, whatever, right? I had cancer 10 years ago, I have herpes. Like, if you're not talking about that stuff, you are actively in a lying relationship. So that's my overall. But in very early dating, if it looks too good to be true, it is. Right. So how you spot a liar is if it
That's
looks
right.
too good or it's acting too good. If it wants to fly across the country, if it is love bombing you, if it
Exactly.
is if the pictures are too perfect, it's not a real person or it's a person who is lying or embellishing. That's number one. If it smells fishy, it is. If it looks fishy, it is. You can even tell what who had AI write their profile.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Or enhance their picture if it's too perfect. So next, if they will not have a video chat with you.
Oh, now we're talking about scams. We're talking online and things like that,
Not
and just
just
scams in
scams.
general.
It's not just scams. It's people who don't look like their pictures.
Catfishing. Well, that's catfishing.
It's
Yeah.
not just it's scams, it's catfishing, and it's embarrassed people.
Okay.
All of the above won't have a video chat. They
Got
just
it.
want to get you to a date, buy you dinner, then you drink some, you feel guilty, you have sex with them. So that's not a catfish or a scam. That's just somebody who's not invested in
Yeah.
having a real
Okay.
relationship.
All
So
right.
and I mean, again, it's like you can bet on this 9 out of 10 times at least. They don't look like their picture. They can't get it together to have a quiet room away from whoever's bothering them that day or whatever.
Mhm.
So it takes something to get on a video chat, but if you're looking for serious love, that's what you want. You want enough texting banter or phone chatting to say, oh, this could be a real thing. Now I'm willing to hop on a 10-minute video chat to test our chemistry.
That's a very good idea.
I'm going to learn so much about that. So if they're just looking for a booty call, they're not going to invest that. If they're
Exactly.
just looking for something casual, probably not going to invest that. If they're looking for something serious and they also want to vet out bad matches, then they will do a video chat. So how you spot a liar is they don't want to get on a video chat with you. Now, and I've heard all the things. Oh, I don't know how to get on a video chat. The technology's not set up. I can't. Blah, 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 blah. No, they don't want to.
Exactly.
Okay, find out why.
Exactly.
Okay. If there's any rushing you to give your personal information, your last name, your address, your phone number, and obviously anything about your finances, that's not appropriate. That's how you spot an actual scam.
Yep.
And God forbid someone tells you how to invest or asks for money from you or asks
Right.
for any of your financial information. Run and like record the information so you can report them to the dating sites and to the police, right? That there are real scams.
Yep.
And nobody who is interested in dating you, first of all, even needs to know your last name for a while, but certainly does not need your investment or your
Oh,
financial
good
help.
God, no. No.
I'm surprised I have to say it, but I do. So that, and then how to spot a liar. Let me just think if there's anything else.
What about our gut? Let's just go over that for a minute.
I mean, the gut is tricky, right? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
really good.
Sometimes it's our fears that we bring with us in
Yeah.
baggage. Other times but like you said, if it's too good to be true. So this goes back to being honest with ourselves. The majority of women that are scammed, conned, are over 55.
Hmm.
They are not celebrities. They're not household names. Most of them are not CEOs.
Right.
And they are targeted specifically by these cartels it's a multi. Do you know that the scamming, romance scams, crypto scams, all these farms that they have these industrial complexes in the middle of Thailand, Cambodia, whatever, entire cities, many people are there under duress. They've been kidnapped. They've been hijacked because they thought they were doing an IT job someplace else. They can't get out. They're captive too. But this has eclipsed all of drug trade, all of mafia. I mean, forget it. It's the biggest business in the world. So if we kind of have an honest sense, am I a 6? This guy's a 10 plus.
Right. Exactly.
And
date within your league and find them on the internet.
And Tom Hardy and these famous actors do not need to have you pay to talk to their agent to set up a date. Oh my God, I know this lovely lady and she's lost so much money. And I keep telling her, this is not real. She says, but it might be. So
Right,
our hope
right.
blinds.
That's one of the videos I watched you talk about this exact topic, which is how I got to know you to begin with.
Oh my goodness. It's so
Heartbreaking.
we have to be honest with ourselves and understand we all want to fall for the dream. Every person who is scammed, conned, or lied to has fallen for a dream that was so delicious and so, like you say, over the
A
top, so
fantasy. A
perfect.
fantasy. I would separate fantasy and dream. I believe in dreams. I do not believe in fantasies.
I use the word dream as in they paint a picture. So we're talking
Right.
about the same thing. It's semantics,
Yeah.
but it's that thing that if we feel that it is so perfect, as you said,
Right.
that is a run. That's, yeah. That's do you have, listen, this has been so informative. I'm really grateful for this. All of the show notes, all of Laurie's links will be in the description here. Laurie, this is absolutely wonderful. I think you're doing some really courageous work. You got a really cool hubby that's doing all this stuff with you. And thank you so much for your time today, because I get to talk about topics that I don't always discuss. And this is a wonderful opportunity for me to find out some things and share it with all of my listeners and my viewers. So Laurie Gerber, thank you so much. And again, all of her links are in the show notes. Laurie, thank you for your time.